not necessarily endorsing this person or whatnot because I don't know, but I heard something that was good. You know what I mean? It's good. You might not necessarily listen to all the things that person says, but you get a nugget. You be as smart as a cow. You eat the hay and spit out the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of them moments. And this person was talking about how when we are in Christ, we cease to be this flesh, so to speak. Our spirits are reborn. So we identify with that. We are still awaiting what we will be when He comes. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so there's that separation, that flesh, that separation of that. And he was talking about the covenants, the old covenant with the old law. There was an old law for an old covenant for an old human, if you will, for a flesh. You know, Jesus came, He walked the earth in the flesh, He perfectly kept the law, fulfilled the law, and introduced a new covenant for a new people. Well, that new covenant comes with a new law.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, quote unquote, not new. It is the heart of the old law. It is the heart of the old law. What is Christ's law for His people? Love.
Yeah.
Love. To love God and to love people.
Yeah.
Specifically, the brethren. Mm-hmm. Specifically, those of the household of faith. That is it. That is it. So and he was bringing out how it didn't matter how many boxes you ticked according to the old law. It didn't matter that you didn't, quote unquote, murder anybody or didn't commit adultery or didn't, this, that, or the other. Pick your 10, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't matter as much as loving, because if you don't have, you can tick the boxes without giving a rip about anybody. Let me tell you something. Yeah. I can choose not to murder somebody solely based on the fact that I don't want to go to prison. Not because I love them. Right? I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Jesus says that ain't good enough.
Mm-mm.
Jesus says if you harbor hate, you're a murderer. You're guilty of it. So, I mean, do we see where it's a different law? There is difference. It's a much deeper thing because now we're getting into the spirit and not the letter. See, the flesh wants to get hung up on the letter. Well, God, you didn't specifically say that I had to attend every service. You didn't specifically say that this is, that's the letter. And if that's your hang up on what is the letter, well, God, it's the 10%. I just give the 10%.
You know, if a person feels that way, and I know there are people that feel that way, they made horrible children to raise. Because if you have to be, if people don't see this, and know what that box means. Yeah. I mean, without having to detail every little thing off of it, this is what it means, take out the garbage. Also means to take it all the way to the can and put a new bag in it. See, it doesn't say take out the garbage and replace. Shouldn't have to.
No. Do what's required. Like,
that sounds simple.
Like wash the dishes means wipe the counters.
Yeah, and put up dishes.
Yeah,
you didn't say, well, change the laundry over. Yeah.
It goes without saying.
Yeah.
But see, if their heart isn't to do it, if there's no love behind it, it will be but you didn't say,
Yeah.
Some things goes without saying, Sweet Pea. Because you can understand the heart if you give a fig.
Yeah.
Now, we're getting into the law of love. We're understanding why the boxes were there in the first place and what it means to really love. Right? That's the law.
Well, he said that no longer would all these rules be on tablets of stone.
It'd be right here.
But
right
it would be in our
heart.
Right here. But see, he's telling us, if you truly are his, if you truly are born again, you don't have to have a notebook full of do's and don'ts.
No, you don't.
And look here, you'll simply, it says that, look here, if your brother asks you to go a mile, you'll go 2. You know why? Because that's love.
Yeah.
That's right.
See, look
it's
here.
beyond what is required.
If Sister Susan calls me up and says, could you please do this? I'm not going to grumble and complain.
Well,
it goes to that heart condition.
It goes to that heart condition.
I'm going to say,
Hey.
Sure, if it's in my power to do it,
we're going to do it.
I'm going to do it because I love her.
That's it. That's it.
Because I love her.
That's it. You know, this time of year, I don't know anybody that can just look at Christmas lights and frown. I mean, seriously. If you can, you got serious issues. That's all I got to say. You got some serious issues if you don't smile when you see any type of Christmas lights twinkling. I don't care if they the big tacky bulbs. I love me some C9s. I got some from my porch. I got to get my clips. Oh, yeah. Ace had them 50% off. I got 3 rolls. I'm excited. Christmas tree count is up to 3. Once Katie's is up, it'll be up to 4 in my house. I'm on my way to every room, y'all. On my way. Got a few rooms left, but that's okay. We're going to get it there.
The Griswolds.
No. But this is love. You know, I know that Christmas lights, I don't care who you are, it elicits a smile.
Yeah.
So any chance I get over to Mama's house before Susan gets home, I go in her room and I plug in her tree. Why? Because you know what? I know she has stressful days with her job. It's part. You know what? That's a little thing. It takes 2 seconds of my day. Creep over there when I'm there and plug in that Christmas tree. Why? Because you know what? I don't know what she's faced. She could have been cussed up and down one end and the other. She could have had everything imaginable on her today because she's a nurse.
Now, let me tell you,
Okay?
yesterday when I come in and found my little candles under that tree, and I saw the lights,
Yeah.
and they're all lit up, we had a rough day, and there were people
Yeah.
saying bad things to me.
Yeah.
And that's just like, refreshing.
Love does that. It ain't a big grand gesture.
That's when you sit down and go, oh, look at that.
Yeah. It's somebody thought about me. Somebody cared about me. Somebody sees me.
Look at all the pretty colors.
Yes.
We got a thing about plug-ins, 3-prong plug.
Yeah, you'll move a whole house trying to find a 3-prong plug. But this is what love. We're gonna learn what love is, because love is not words. If all you do is talk love, you talking out your behind. I love you, but you are. It ain't real.
Yeah.
If all you got is a word and I love you, that ain't it. That is not love.
That's an action.
That's it. We about to find out that in Scripture. So here we are, 1 John chapter 3, verse 10. Remember, John is the love guy. I'm in the Amplified.
Verse 10.
We're on verse 10. John is the love guy. By this point, odds are he's the last man standing of the 12. This is your last chance to hear the dude who walked with Jesus. They probably want to give attention to this. This was not for one particular church. This was passed to all of them. So this was not addressing a quote-unquote situation within one body. But this was for everybody everywhere. This was not answering a question. This was not that. This was This is what I have to tell you about love. This is my expertise. Verse 10, and I'm just starting there. I know we're probably backing up, but we need to hear it again. By this, the children of God and the children of the devil are clearly identified. Wow. Again, is that any figurative or tricky language that you have to guess who's a child of God and guess who's a child of the devil? Or does it say that they're clearly identified? Listen, we called to be fruit inspectors. We should be able to tell if that apple's rotten or not. It's not being mean. It's not being judgmental and condemning. He gives us the standard of inspection. That's all it is. Anyone who does not practice righteousness, who does not seek God's will in thought, action, and purpose, is not of God. Nor is the one who does not unselfishly love his believing brother. Wow. So there's your relation, the person in relation to God and the person in relation to the body of believers. Now, understand, you might have somebody who is quote unquote seeking God. But notice that nor. It doesn't say and. Nor means or. So I can still be praying to God and doing all, but if I'm selfish, if I'm not unselfishly loving the people around me, oh my, I'm not born of God. Now, I think the church world misses that so much. It's not an and, it's an or. Or means either one can disqualify you. I mean, am I understanding the English language correctly there, Michelle? Okay. Making sure our reading comprehension is on here. I mean, it doesn't, it's not rocket science. Is it going to take a lot out of you? Yes. Yes, it is. You know? Who was it telling me that they heard Joyce Meyer talking about the mark of a mature Christian? Oh, Mama, when somebody is just as nasty as the day is long and you can smile at them and say, well, bless you. Bless you. Not bless your heart, because if you're from the South, you know what that is. That is both at the same time. It's a fun phrase. But no, just bless you and keep on going. Loving them in the midst of it. Love does not mean that I have no boundaries. Understand that, because I am not called to go fishing with toxic people. I'm not called to go fishing with people who are clearly born of the devil. But I am to love my believing brothers and sisters. That's the call. You know, hey, guess what? Some people like chocolate and some people like vanilla. Is it worth arguing over? Buy you a box of Neapolitan and call it good.
There you go.
Ice cream in the box. You remember the box? I remember the box. Every birthday party, you got a box of ice cream. You know?
Box.
The box. Okay. Sorry, y'all. Verse 11. For this is the message which you believers have heard from the beginning of your relationship with Christ. That we should unselfishly love and seek the best for one another. Not for your own self. Not for your own self. The love and the best for one another. What does that mean? That means that, you know what, if there's one Pineapple Mountain Dew left and Sister Marilyn wants it, bless God, Sister Marilyn gonna get it. I'm gonna prioritize that, even if I wanted it. Because let's be real, when do you not want a Pineapple Mountain Dew? They're wonderful.
They are. They are very good.
You know, love requires so much of us. I came in, I had a sack full of candles. I said, Mama, pick. Mama, pick. Mama's like, what do you mean pick? I said, pick them. Pick what you want and tell me what I can take home with me. You know? Mama didn't ask for candles. Mama didn't ask me to go out and do that. But Shell was on the phone with me when I found them things. Oh boy, they smell good. And Mama picked them. She starts smelling them. I want all of them. Okay. And I start walking out. No, you don't. No, you don't. Love.
Yeah.
Love. It's not a big deal.
Bring it some more, yeah.
It's not a big deal. It's the bringing of the coffee cup. It's doing the thing just because you know it prefers somebody else.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Sometimes it's passing the TV remote when you know it's just going to be like the Wheel of Fortune wheel going around.
Yeah.
We ain't going to land on nothing. We're just going to keep going.
You see if you can find something.
Whatever.
Yeah,
or when you know it's going to be the same thing. Now, I must admit, we have a break from Star Trek The Next Generation right now because we're watching Doctor Who. But usually the default is Next Generation.
Yeah.
TNG. I know all of them. I know what's going to happen on every episode because I've watched it for 20 years.
Yeah.
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 That's love.
Yeah.
Love is unselfish.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's something that our nation needs to learn.
Mm.
All right, so here's some more examples of what not to do. And not be like Cain, who was of the evil one and murdered his brother Abel. And why did he murder him? Because Cain's deeds were evil and his brothers were righteous. Guess what? Wicked people hate righteous people. They will seek to do evil. They will seek to harm. They will seek to do wrong. Guess what? You need to exit. Don't. There's no place for light with darkness. There's no. What fellowship do they have? Why do you think John, who is the love disciple, is telling the church how to recognize who is born of God, who is born of Satan? Because those people are within the church. Those people are within every congregation.
Yep.
There's children of God and children of Satan sitting next to each other in pews all across the world. And it's not your calling, child of God, to be murdered by evil. Point blank. They're the ones that want to come in and they'll create a slander campaign. They'll come in and they'll play the victim card real good. If you don't believe me, just watch YouTube. What's going on with Daystar? If you got half a brain in your head, you'll have questions. Okay. If you got half a brain, you'll have questions. Why aren't we talking to lawyers and police, and why are we talking to internet bloggers? I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist, but I know if it was my child where I would be going, it wouldn't be to the internet. So that tells me that's bogus. Anyway.
That is so far from what that's about.
Exactly. What is it really about? It's about the wicked hating the righteous. Usurping, wanting to be somebody, wanting to be in control, wanting to call the shots. All the things Lucifer wanted. All the things that the devil wanted.
Rebellion.
Rebellion. At its finest. Exactly. That's not love. That's not love. I having fun on that chalkboard back there.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what that is.
You know,
Okay.
Does that answer questions?
That going, y'all, from glory to glory is what is expected of us.
Absolutely.
Of all his children. No one is exempt. But you know, going from glory to glory, we should be looking more and more and more like our Savior.
That's right.
We should be thinking. See, this word should be priority. And as we read it, see, just reading it is not enough.
No, it's not.
It's receiving it. It's changing
Mm-hmm.
to it.
Yeah.
See, as we change to this word, it's transforming us.
Yeah.
It's transforming us.
Yeah.
If it's not transforming us, if it is not changing us,
Mm-hmm.
something's wrong.
Yeah.
We're not doing something right.
That's right.
We're not born of Him.
That's it.
Because it said our goal is to come to the full measure of Christ.
Mhm.
Exactly.
See, we should be thinking like Christ.
Yeah.
We should be speaking like Christ.
Mhm.
We should be loving like Christ.
Yeah.
Walking like Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Everything we do
Mm-hmm.
should be
Like Christ. Exactly. You know, I go back to whenever I got the wild hair that I wanted to make soap. There was months of Soap Queen TV, months of article after article. Did you know there's two different types of lye? There's sodium hydroxide and potash. Can't remember what it's called.
Mhm.
It's another type of hydroxide. I think it's potassium
It is
hydroxide.
potassium.
Okay, yeah. See, all the technical terms. Guess what? Potassium hydroxide, unless you put it with a hard fat, will not create a hard bar of soap. This is where you get liquid soap. And then sodium hydroxide can saponify and harden anything. That's where you can get your Castels and your Bastilles, and you want to keep going. And Mama and Daddy and Matt heard this for months. They heard what properties coconut oil had, what properties olive oil had, what properties essential oils added to the soap, goat's milk added to the soap, regular milk added to the soap. What could you do with it? What was trace? Light trace, medium trace, hard trace, hot process, cold process. They heard all this stuff.
Now listen.
Yeah.
This just come over me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But there's a point to this. There's a point to it. Go ahead.
If somebody is talking stuff that you're not interested in,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you tend to let it go
Yep.
in this ear and out the other.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if it's something you're interested in,
Mhm.
you grab hold of it.
Mhm.
You listen
Mhm.
intently.
Mhm.
Talking for months on end, all about the soap, all about the process of making the soap. Yep, the word, yeah. But this is what I wanted to get at. Was I a soap maker in those months?
No,
Nope. You know why?
because you didn't do it.
'Cause
You
I
didn't
haven't
make
done it.
You didn't make it.
I didn't make it. Oh, I could talk. I could tell you the whole darn process. I could tell you that I needed an immersion
You
blender.
had no soap fruit.
I could tell you
Yeah,
every
she-
little
yeah.
man. I could tell you the finer details. I could tell you what saponification was and emulsifiers and the whole deal. I could give you a chemistry lesson. I could
sounded good,
I
didn't
could lay it out.
But you had no soap fruit.
I had an understanding of it from a textbook. From a textbook position, I understood it.
But not a hands-on.
But not a hands-on. And then one day, I ordered from across the country, and in comes the supplies. And me and Mama and Nana is outside on the front porch because it said well ventilated. I didn't know what to expect, so we're going to be outside. It's ventilated. We had on our gloves and our goggles and our long sleeve shirts, and we set out and we made the first batch of soap, and boy was it ugly. It was ugly. As a matter of fact, I had somebody come in and say, man, now I know why they say ugly is homemade soap. It was that ugly.
I think it was your daddy, wasn't
No, it was a cousin.
it? Okay.
It was a cousin. Daddy giggled though. He thought that was hilarious. He thought that was great. But let me tell you something. People who tried it, they said that was the best stuff they ever used in their life, and they wanted more. They wanted to know when I was making more. Guess what happened with my next batch?
It improved.
It improved. And my next batch,
Even more.
and my to the point where I was marketing the soap. People was coming and wanting my soap. When I would stop, they'd say, "Where is the soap? We want the soap. I don't use this stuff at the store anymore. I don't like it. It's helping eczema. It's helping my daughter's acne. It's helping." Where is the soap? Why? Because I learned the things that had good properties for all those things, and I put it in my soap. Like, hey, this is good. Different clays, different additives. Why? Because it had properties in the ingredients that were helpful for the skin. But you can talk it all day long, and that's what the world sees. They see a lot of talkers.
Yeah.
They see a lot of talkers, and let me tell you something. They know that you don't stand behind what you're talking because you don't live what you're talking. If you can't love people, if you can't love others beyond yourself, well, you're no different than the world. Why would they want what you have? The world's looking out for only themselves anyway. What's the difference? They just willing to be cutthroat about it to get what they want. Which, honestly, if we're being selfish, we'll get cutthroat. We'll be nasty. We'll do all the things. Why? Because Cain did it to his own brother. His own flesh and blood brother. Killed him dead. Why? Because God accepted Abel's, and I want God to accept mine. Well, Cain, you dingus, he gave you the answer. Just do it right. Do it right and you'll get accepted. Don't get mad because others are doing it right. Does that fix that you're not doing it right? No, it don't. It will never, ever constitute salvation for the one doing it wrong. By doing a smear campaign, by doing evil to the one doing it right. It will never make you right with God. Understand that. Let me tell you something. When you making somebody seem dirty or nasty in the eyes of other people will never make you smell good or look good. It won't. It won't. If it's untruthful, it certainly won't. I can't tell you how many times I just bite my tongue. There's things I know. There's things that I don't tell everybody. I don't tell everybody. Now, when I see the poison coming from my sheep, then I start telling people. Why? Because I have a responsibility to my congregation. But beyond that, I don't just tell everybody. I have very few confidants.
You know, like I told Coda last week in dealing with people, where he's fixing to go.
Oh, yeah.
You know, let your fruit speak what you're really all about.
That's it.
And if you do that, they ain't gonna have to ask.
No.
Ain't nobody gonna have to ask because they gonna know what kind of heart
That's it.
that young man has.
That's it.
And because he'll be doing
Yep.
what this word says.
That's right. See,
Hola.
if you remember more of John, if you go back to the Gospel of John, he goes back beyond the genealogy. He goes back, he says, in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was God. Yeah, the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the Word became flesh. Right? So the Word is another name for Jesus. Where is our position? Hidden in Christ.
The word.
And the New Testament says, as He is, so are we in this world.
Yeah.
So our lives are to be the Word made flesh. Is your life the Word made flesh? See, that's the whole deal. Now that puts a whole new... See, if you identify in relation as being separate from Christ in any way, shape, or form, and that was no. He says that we join with Him in life, so we have to join with Him in death. He says that when He seats the head, He seats the body. Hey, come on, because He says He's the head of a body. We are connected. We are one. I mean, why would it be any different? Why did Jesus come? Because as he is, so are we in this world. He came to be the firstborn of many. Of many. He died so that lots of little Jesuses could pop up. Me and you. Why? Because that was the deal. That was what we said. We said, okay, Jesus, I understand the trade. Mindy's going to die and Jesus is going to live. I'm going to put you on and walk around on this earth just like you did because I'm with you now. I'm one of you. Okay? Mm-hmm. I mean, is that oversimplifying what he came to do?
Not at all.
That's the assignment. That's the assignment. Mm-hmm. Nope. This flesh is dead. Remember? It went down. It died. I embraced the cross with Jesus so that I'll embrace life with him. Right. What is the cross that I bear? No, I ain't dying for nobody's sins. But I'm crucifying my own wants and desires, my own yuck.
Yeah. Exactly
Every
right.
day, minute by minute. Some days I just have to have my hand in staple gun ready. Nope. I'll pop one in you. I have stapled my finger before. It didn't feel good. I never can figure out Daddy's big stapler, which end is the end that spits. And, more than once I've walked around with a staple coming out my knuckle.
Ow.
Daddy did it again. Stop it. Sorry. You keep telling me to staple with a staple gun. One day I'm going to get it right.
Yeah.
Now I just make Matt do it. It's probably safer for all involved. 13. Do not be surprised, believers, if the world hates you.
That's right.
If the world likes you, something ain't right. That's the takeaway there. We know that we have passed out of death into life because we love the brothers and sisters. Yeah. He who does not love remains in spiritual death. Is this a complicated verse?
Not really.
This is not flesh love. This is God love. It's agapeo, which implies action. I believe is the Greek. It's not just agape. It's like agapeo at the end of it, which means an action is involved. It would be making a verb out of love, out of God love, in action. This is how we know. If you want to know, if you want to be sure of your salvation, do I have this love toward God's people? If you have to question it, do I have this love? I mean, like, if you don't have a straight up answer like, yes, I am loving God's people. I love God's people in the way that he loves me. That level. Not fleshly, not what I can get out of it. Scratch your back, I scratch yours. Not some perverted, erotic, because, I mean, we can go into phileo, eros, and agape if you want to, which is the Greek types of love mentioned in Scripture. No, we're talking about agape, agapeo, the God kind of love in action. Okay? One of those definitions, and I always love it, and I know I'm getting off track here, and, well, we've made it through 4 verses. I think that's an accomplishment. But, hey, I've been in here with Daddy when we've made it through 1.
Yeah.
Whole service, just 1.
Happens.
Just 1. It happens someday.
You know, people that preach on one verse for a whole sermon, it's usually really easy.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. But, agape. I love my Blue Letter Bible app because it just gives you all the words in the context. And you say, well, why is that important? Because we have it translated into English. Yes, we do, but sometimes there's not an English word to do it justice, what it means, okay? And then you got the modern English language, how it's changed since the time of King James, like we really go by the 1635, not the 1611. 1611 had the Apocrypha in it, so it's really the 1635 authorized King James that we go by. was it not communication? It might be communication. It's a word, like communication within the King James, like let your conversation. That's what it is, conversation. Okay. Did you know conversation does not mean a dialogue in Old English? It meant your way of living. So that kind of changes some verses, don't it? It changes them big. So it's important to get back to what the word meant within the time of its writing. Mm-hmm. So when you go to agape gives you all kinds of definitions and uses. And one of the definitions is a love feast. And it was, in fact, a meal shared among the believers. Now, we keep going back to this because you want to get to Paul talking and addressing specific problems and specific issues within the church. Guess what he had specific problems with and around? The eating in the church. There was specific issues that was going on within the love feasts that needed to be addressed. There were people that were coming and just gobbling, and taking, and other people were left hungry. People who needed it. There were people that had finances and had good things, and what were they doing? They were getting there early and they were mounding up the plates and they were eating all the food and hoarding all the boxes. And then the people who didn't have finances or who were in need sincerely didn't have nothing. And Paul called it evil. He called it wicked. And he put his foot down and he ran their butts out the kitchen. In layman's terms. And that what happened in 1 Corinthians? Amongst all the sexual mess that was going on in the church too. So 1 Corinthians gets very interesting. Do we still have that going on today in churches? Yeah. We have takers and they do not have boundaries. Guess what? If Paul was here, going by 1 Corinthians, would you say he'd set up a boundary? Real quick, fast?
Yeah,
would y'all say Paul is a bad guy? Paul was out of line? Paul was wrong? Well, guess what? When the leadership puts up a boundary, if they got scriptural precedence, well, they're not the bad guy. They're not the bad guy. Let's start being unselfish. Let's start loving each other and thinking how to take care of each other and not hoarding. You know? Love is an action.
Yeah.
That's one of the coolest things to me about agape. That definition in and of itself. And it's a litmus test. It's a litmus test for kids. Have you ever seen, like, they'll have like one candy bar and hand it to a kid and their sibling will be right there to see what the kid's going to do with the candy bar? Anything short of breaking that candy bar in half is wrong. And parents need to rectify it. Teach your children to share, to love, to do what's right.
And you know that's elementary.
Yeah. We shouldn't be out here in adult church having to cover these topics.
Because, you know, you get toddlers. And toddlers snatch and don't want to share. And see, that's the time to start teaching.
Yep.
No, you got to share with others. And you actually have to take the toy. Yep. That they don't want to share and pass it and let that one play with it a little while and then take it back and pass it to a next one. Yeah. And you start teaching.
Yep.
You know.
That's what it's like to share.
Yeah. You know, you see a kid with his cookies or her cookies and she don't want to share. No. We got to share with all. That's right.
No.
But if you don't,
you're setting them up for a sad life.
Yes, you are.
A very sad life.
I think another one, and you know, through all this, I'm thinking about how I am with people now compared to what I was with people. You know, used to I was pretty matter of fact with a lot of things, and I still have a little bit of that going on. But let me just say this. I mean, dealing with people on the phone, talking to people, or, it ain't got to be on the phone, it can be in person. I don't hear what I want to hear. Let's use my car, for instance.
Yay.
You go and you
The
try
car.
to, you try and find out where my car's at. You've had it for a good month now. Well, I didn't hear what I wanted to hear, but was I ugly? Nah, I was not. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just let me know. Now, do I think I will? Well, maybe. I hope first of the week, maybe. But I know first of the week, and I'm not going to make a call. I'm just going to make a debut.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if it's not where I want it to be, I have a choice right then and there.
Yep.
What kind of person am I going to be?
Yep.
Now, we all have heard the term, you get more flies with sugar than you do with vinegar.
Catch more flies with honey.
Yeah, well, that is true no matter what the situation is.
Mm-hmm.
You can remain nice and the people will work for you and not be as ugly because they could.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in a situation like that, you got to give this one thought. I can shut them down.
Yeah.
And then what's it going to do to help me? You think they're going to work harder? No. 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 If somebody parks wrong in a parking lot and you're going to teach them a lesson and you park in your place and you're real close to them and you give them a button. Now, is that a smart thing to do using your car to teach somebody a lesson? The normal person would come out and go, okay, fine. Let me fix you a few times.
No.
See, so think about your actions and think about how you'd like to be treated. And I don't know if that really has anything. I guess it does have a lot to do.
Treat others how you want to be treated.
you
That's
don't-
the golden
What is
rule.
it, the golden rule?
You don't
The
be
golden
ugly.
rule.
You don't be ugly.
No.
There's a time, and still, if things don't work out your way, what I'm getting at, even though you may feel a little anger or a little frustration, try to direct that in more of a
Rule your spirit.
a professional way, not
Yeah.
in a ugly way. You got to think professional. And what would Jesus do? That's so true.
Yep.
The WWJD. What would Jesus do? That was the greatest thing, and why it stopped, I don't know. But people still need to have that and actually think, what would Jesus do?
Yeah. A lot of that depends on who he was dealing with. If he was dealing with the world, there was a lot of compassion.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, Lord help him. If he was dealing with hypocrites, he'd tell them all about their own self.
Yeah.
That's why they crucified him.
Yeah. But even there's a way to do it.
Yeah. He did it. He
Yeah.
did it the right way. He
And
didn't get nasty.
He probably
He
did
just was very matter of fact.
There you go. That's
He didn't
the word.
pretend to go along with it.
No.
He did flip
He
tables
called
and
it
break
out.
whips.
He called it out.
And he
Yeah.
shut the devils up in the church.
Yeah.
Nope.
So,
We ain't talking about that today. But they were talking good. They were calling him the Son of God. Shut up, devil. I don't care. Shut up, devil.
okay. Yeah.
All right, but hey, it's that time. We gonna shut down because we gonna go love on some people today. We love you. God loves you. There ain't anything you can do about it. We'll see y'all next time.